Good morning, everyone. How are we doing today? Monday, August 31st. This is your last trading day of August, and quite an August it has been. I believe it's been the best August in the last couple of decades. Usually, August is when all the big shots in Wall Street take their summer in the Hamptons, and of course, everything is different this year. 2020 has been kind of opposite year, terrible year, whatever you want to call it. So going to be interesting what happens the rest of the year, right? Going into an election. Today's the day that Apple and Tesla trade at their post-split amounts. So if you look at your accounts and you see Apple and Tesla, quote unquote, I don't want to say down at a new price, just remember you own a lot more shares, right? I think it's was it 4-1 for Apple and 5-1 for Tesla. That might be reversed, but I think that's what it was. Yeah, 5-1 for Tesla, 4-1 for Apple. So again, trading at post stock split levels. Both have enjoyed nice run up since the stock split announcement. And I wouldn't be shocked if they're both up today, because heck, a lower price means you need to buy more, right? That's not how it's supposed to work long term. They've added no value with the stock split. Yes, I understand the argument that you could buy more shares, but why is one share different than 5 shares at a price that's 5x? Anyways, it's okay. I get it. It excited me 20 years ago when it happened in the dot-com era. I remember buying Cisco systems because it split every year. I get it. I understand. It will eventually not work, but enjoy the moment. It's a good time had by all, because of course stocks only go up. The green hammer of death, as Dave Portnoy would said. But the party's going to end. It just has to. It is getting to overconfident, stretched PEs, Main Street, Wall Street, the big five in the S&P. Yeah, the big five stocks can go up, sure. But when you strip it away, you strip away the S&P 5, or maybe it's the S&P 6 now, the rest of the market doesn't look as strong. So I look at the market every day going, man, this is so 99 all over again, where it's the momentum traders. I remember the conversations, again, trading. I'm a 24, 25-year-old selling washers and dryers, making like 20 grand a year. And here I am trading Google and Cisco. And I remember it was so fun. And then it wasn't eventually. Next up, I saw an interesting article about General Electric. So the last 90 days or so, plenty of companies have declined to give earnings estimate, right? It kind of came the Q2 norm. Some are still doing it in Q3. This is the first time I've seen an analyst say, you know what? I don't know what to make of GE. I don't see earnings coming, right? They have that big aircraft division, and other portions of their business are really struggling. So the analysts dropped their expectations for a company. And I think the stock's like at $6 or something. I did not know what to make of that. I mean, the analysts did not say this, but I wonder if they're looking at their debt and going, man, I don't know if GE can service the debt. I don't know. I mean, it'd be interesting to look it up. General Electric maybe might be a big monstrous bankruptcy looming in the future. It just really shocks me that it just shocks me that an analyst would drop it on GE. So pretty crazy. It looks like AT&T might be looking to sell DirecTV to some private equity companies. As you know, AT&T bought DirecTV, gosh, seemingly a decade ago, and the business has been, let's say, falling precipitously. Still some cash flow there, right? Some monthly or quarterly cash flow, but the business is not growing. Streaming won, DirecTV lost. So AT&T looks to be cutting their loss and raising some cash. The big news of the day, it actually came out yesterday, was Warren Buffett buys 5% stake in the top 5 trading platforms in Japan. So if you don't remember, Warren Buffett bought, was it $60 million of Barrick Gold, right? Basically becoming, many people talked about investing in gold. It was GOLD, the stock, not the bar. But still, right? Barrick takes gold out of the ground, and now Warren Buffett's got 5% of five different Japanese trading companies willing to take it to 9.9%. I think Warren Buffett is telling us he's lost faith in the dollar. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. He's obviously got a lot of dollars, so maybe it's wise for him to divest. But put two and two together, right? Barrick Gold out there by itself after Warren for years made fun of gold. Now he's buying gold miner. Then he goes over to Japan and he buys five trading platforms willing to take his investment from 5 to 9.9%. What are we supposed to think? My guess, and I'd love to hear from you, is Warren is going, the dollar is in trouble. I want to diversify, diversify, diversify. So I don't know. Interesting. Again, the investment already is $6.25 billion. Again, not a lot for him, but taking it up to 12 billion certainly would be a decent chunk of change. I saw a note that TikTok is potentially a deal will be announced tomorrow. It will be something interesting to look at. It's kind of weird that they have a range for 20 to 30 billion dollars. That's a huge range. It looks like it's coming down to Microsoft or Oracle. This again, just so you know, is for the U.S., New Zealand, and Australia businesses, as I understand it. But I think China threw in a little wrinkle over the weekend. If you didn't see it, the Chinese government updated their technology export to include AI, or artificial intelligence. And if you're not aware, big portion of what TikTok is artificial intelligence, AI. So I believe ByteDance, which is the company that owns TikTok, is going to need a license from the Chinese government to sell. And I'm not sure that's the layup we all want it to be. Right? I think I think TikTok is about to become a soap opera. It might be one of those weddings that get to the altar and don't actually finish, right? Somebody objects, right? Does anybody object to this proceeding? And the Chinese government raises their hand and says, not so fast. It could go that direction. And if it does, boy, assuming this administration that is leading us now is in place, there will be an executive order in a heartbeat, and that app will be banned from the U.S., no doubt. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes. I think get ready for a soap opera. And I think, frankly, someone to overpay, but we'll see. United Airlines trying to increase demand actually waived or dropped their $200 change fee. Again, there's no demand, right? Or it's trading at, or demands at 20 or 22% of last year. So they're trying to absorb other capacity from other airlines, hence dropping things. It's probably a good idea. I expect other airlines to do the same. So we will see where that goes. I don't know if you saw this. I watch it because it involves Taiwan, and my wife is from Taiwan. There was a Czech official who officially visited Taiwan over the weekend. And of course, China is not happy. I believe heading into next year, after taking over Hong Kong and sort of flexing its muscle there, the next one is going to be Taiwan. And that could be that could be interesting, right? Are we going to stand up and say no? Is the world going to stand up and say no? That's a flashpoint, I think. So we're going to have to watch that. Another question I have for you kind of goes back to the stocks just trading at crazy levels. Are investors overconfident? There's a lot of metrics out there talking about PE and earnings and all of that, pointing to fairly stretched levels, fairly dependent on a certain set of stocks. But to David Portnoy's point, nobody's ever invested in a pandemic before, and stocks only go up. And thus far, he's been right. So enjoy the ride, I guess. But the party will end. I don't know when. It could be around the election. It could be next year. The market doesn't like unknown risks. So if we have a messy election with no clear winner, that could be a problem. If the market is set up for one side to win and the other side surprises, that could happen. I think if we get no stimulus and we continue to get a million more unemployed, if that ticks up, right, we went from 960 to 1.1. If this week we see 1.3 and next week 1.7 and on, that'll get us another stimulus, no doubt. But that could be a problem. Main Street is in trouble. Lots and lots of articles over the weekend for New York and San Francisco departures. I'm actually going to review a channel that did a great 12-minute summary of why they're leaving San Francisco. Again, I'm trying to look at other YouTube channels to grow and appreciate what others are doing. So I will share that feedback later. It was a really, really well done piece. He lives in San Francisco, has a couple of small businesses, him and his wife, and it was a pretty interesting article. And then if you want to read a story about good old Steve Mnuchin, there was an article, I believe, in the Wall Street Journal talking about he saved the economy, but not even his family is happy. That was an interesting piece. Right or wrong, Steve Mnuchin is probably the one person in the White House, I don't know, cabinet that is on speaking terms with the Democrats, right? Nancy Pelosi specifically. And his ability to get that first stimulus package done is probably underappreciated. He did some great things. He also learned his lessons by reviewing what happened in the Great Recession. They came out with huge stimulus and a bazooka right away, which could have staved off a depression. We'll know. We won't know for years to come, but he probably is not getting the respect or the thanks that he deserves, and that's unfortunate. He has certainly served, at least in my opinion, the American public well. You can always argue that he could have done more and all of that. Got to remember, he needed to negotiate both sides. He was not in charge, so he had to placate lots of other powerful people. So I want to give him a shout out. Steve, good job. Do us a favor, get that skinny deal at least proposed. I want to see the other side say no. I think saying no to $3 trillion with all that pork is the right answer. But I think if you're right, I think if there's a part of something that everybody agrees on, we should do that deal. So let's see. All right, everybody, that's what I got for you today. Of course, it's Monday. I'm going to interview Greg Dickerson here in a minute. I am going to share my goals for the next 13 weeks. I've been working on it for the last day. I didn't want to push that out in a rush. I wanted to think about it. And I'm going to share that feedback on another channel that talked about everybody leaving San Francisco. So I've got 3 or 4 videos planned today. Have a wonderful day. Take care of yourself.